do you think this point right here is still not well understood by most of Wall Street?
It's not.
That's
I'm
mind-blowing to
telling.
me.
I mean, it's not well understood, and that's why I think like this quarter, the most important thing. A lot of times, like when companies report, right? It's like you know, revenue, EPS, got it. It was all about margin. It was about what the margins could be when they cut prices 15, 20%. That that was it. Like as the institutional investor, that changed the whole story. It changed. I think it changed the long term vision when you start to even model it out over the coming years. Because the whole issue, and obviously, like there's many on here that everyone's like so smart and so so opinionated one way or another on Tesla. When you have 55, 60, 70K, you're never scaling to 5, 6, 7 million units. It's nit, right? Like you're gonna go like max what, 2.5 million units, 3 million
Yeah.
units.
Yeah.
When you start to get to these price points, that's the dream scenario.
Yeah. And then Q1 then, so Q1 is even going to be more monumental, right? Because you have all these price decreases technically, well, it should be baked in now into the margins that they're going to release probably sometime in April or yes, late April probably is when their earnings report's going to be. So the attention on that number is probably going to be insane. And if they can be, so like in your head, where do you think that number is going to be at?
Well,
20%,
I
18%?
think,
Like how do you
yeah,
think?
I think
Yeah.
the line in the sand is 20%. I mean
Yeah.
that's sort of the line in the sand that, from a street bogey perspective, that's like very important psychologically.
Mm.
Um, I think the other thing that everyone's paying attention to is like maniacal focus on the China numbers to see what ultimately happens with demand at these price points. Like, okay, like does backlog start to be? I mean, that's really going to be a big focus. Do they have to cut prices more? Because then that would ultimately accelerate a little of the bear argument. Like, okay, like, well, where does it go? Do they just have to keep price? You get into a price war. A price war, no one wins. So that's why like there's such a maniacal focus on. Everyone knows like 2x demand over production, but now I think it's key in the month of March to see what happens with overall demand. Look, I mean, like we run these surveys in China, okay, with EV buyers, and we spin them out to give us a sense of like how important price cuts have been. And all of our survey work showed like, they nailed it in terms of the price points. It swayed 3 of every 4 consumers that we've polled.
Well,
And now it's about going forward.